Hey everyone, thanks you for joining us this evening. I know that everyone is excited to know about how you qualify for a mortgage because it is one of the most important steps in purchasing a home, qualifying for that mortgage. Most people that I've spoken with, when they start thinking about purchasing a home, they have an idea about what side of town they want to live on, what type of home they want. Do they want to be close to certain amenities that are important to them? And it does take some time. They start looking online, but oftentimes they are missing that one important piece. How much can you actually afford? How much home can you actually afford? And what do you need to do to qualify for a home? Last week, we discussed if you have not so great credit, some things that you can do to restore your credit. If you have some things on your credit, what do you need to do to get that taken care of? And just things like that. So if you want that, I'll be happy to send that out to you. But qualifying for a mortgage is not as scary. And Kim can tell you, because I had my reservations as well. I was a little nervous, but it's not as scary as you think. It really is not. Oftentimes I hear people say, oh, I need to get this, I need to do this first, I need to do that first, and they have all of these obstacles that they feel like they have to go through to qualify, which is, it's not true. I tell everyone, before you even start to go visit homes and start dreaming about what type of home you want to know how much you can actually afford. Okay, that is the first step outside of having that consultation with your real estate agent. You want to know exactly how much you can afford. And I tell people all of the time, you know, your situation is going to be different than your friend's situation, than your cousin's situation, because your finances are different. So your whole experience is going to be different. So we get asked this all of the time, and I'm pretty sure that Kim does all kinds of crazy questions.
Yes.
Kim, and introduce yourself too.
Hey guys, I am Kim Thomas. I am with Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. I am on the legacy team, and I love what I do. I love helping, people become homeowners, and I love to see that transformation of something turning from a hope and a wish I could be to I can really do this. Mm-hmm. That is one of my favorite parts of this entire business, of actually seeing the transformation of somebody to know they truly can be a homeowner.
Yes. And so when you initially speak with someone, I know some of the questions that I get. When you initially speak with someone, what type of consultation do you take them through? Do you let them know up front, okay, these are all of the documents that you'll need, these are the timelines? What is your initial consultation like?
My very first conversation with someone is to find out, how quickly are you looking to purchase? That way I kind of have a timeline for what it is that they're looking to accomplish. The first thing that we have to do is I have to get an application into my system so that I can see what their life looks like on paper. So I have to see the job, I have to see the income, I have to pull credit, because pulling that credit is the most important thing of getting you pre-qualified for a home purchase. You have to make sure that you have certain credit scores are in the right place. You want to make sure that your credit is where it needs to be to put you in the best position to purchase a home. A lot of times I'll have people that say, well, no, I'm working on my credit right now. I don't want to do anything. That is the first place that I'm going to stop somebody, is that if you are not in the credit restoration business, and if you are not in the mortgage industry, do not try to work on your credit. Let a professional help you with that. If your objective is to purchase a home, then you want to work with a mortgage professional that's able to pull your credit for the purpose of qualifying you for a mortgage, to let you know what it may be that you need to work on. There's a lot of times people are trying to do things on credit that don't truly impact them positively. So you need to have somebody that can give you that guidance, that understanding, to let you know exactly what it is that you need to work on. Once those pieces are put together, I'll let a borrower know, okay, well, based on this information, here's how much house you can afford. This is how much money you're going to need in order to buy this house. And then, we'll go through some rules with the borrowers on things that they need to make sure that they're being careful of through the process. You don't want to open new debt. You cannot buy a car. You cannot buy furniture. You don't want to do anything on your credit that's going to impact you for qualifying.
Exactly.
So, you want to make sure that you're not changing jobs in the middle of a home purchase. There's certain, things that you have to discuss with your loan officer to keep you in the best position to make it a smooth process. You have to work with someone that's knowledgeable, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. You want to work with someone that has the patience to work with you and walk you through the process, because it can be nerve-wracking. It's a scary process. And you want somebody that has the patience to kind of give you that information and walk you through it every step of the way.
Exactly. And that is the point. You brought up something really good, because not all loan officers are created equal. I will say that. When you get a really good one that will explain that process, let you know what you need, that's responsive, that's what you want. I mean, there are a lot of us in this industry, but we are not all created the same. You want someone that's going to put the client, the buyer first, the customer first. So that's exactly what you want. Now, I get asked this a lot, Kim, especially when someone says that, okay, I'm working on my credit, and that's why I don't want to qualify for, or that's why I don't want to apply, or I need to finish working on my credit, and they're doing it themselves. They're not in any type of restoration. I always, tell someone, speak with the lender first. Let them pull your credit so they can tell you exactly what's going to hurt, what's going to help. Can you explain to everyone the difference between that mortgage score, or what you guys are looking for, there is a different credit score other than what's on Credit Karma?
Right.
They should.
So a lot of times when you're having your credit pulled, that's pulled from a non-mortgage professional, your scores are not based on a mortgage scoring module. So their scores are going to be a little different. Credit Karma is never accurate. Sometimes it's too high, sometimes it's too low. It is a good source for, monitoring accounts on your credit to make sure you don't have fraudulent activity with maybe some accounts being open, things like that. But as far as for scoring purposes, you want to deal with a mortgage professional on that. You're always going to have 3 credit scores because you have 3 credit bureaus. You have Experian, you have TransUnion, and you have Equifax. They very rarely have the same number. Like I've never seen all 3 bureaus have the exact same number for a score. So you're going to have one of the numbers is going to be a high number. One of the numbers, of course, is going to be the lowest. And then you're going to have a number that's in the middle. For mortgage purposes, you're always using whatever the middle number is for qualifying for a mortgage. And depending on the company that you're working with, their score requirements are going to be different. Depending on what type of loan you may be doing, your score requirements are going to be different. So if you're in a situation where you want to find out what you qualify for, we're going to have our information at the end of the video. We want you to definitely reach out and, let's do an application and find out what it is that you qualify for, what it is you might need to work on credit, and get you started in the right direction with the right information. Gotcha.
Now, a lot of folks are scared scared to have their credit pulled by, a mortgage professional, because they're not sure how it's going to impact their credit. I hear that all the time. It's going to drop my score too low, or how does that impact someone's credit when it's pulled by you?
And it is not going to dramatically impact the credit score unless you're out having people just pull your credit all over the place. You have multiple companies, car dealerships, credit cards. You're not going to see a dramatic impact in that credit score. If you are already borderline on where that score is, then you definitely want to have a mortgage professional pull that credit so they can help guide you on how to get it up, because you have to have your credit pulled to find out what you qualify for. So the earlier that you can find out what that score actually looks like, the faster you can put yourself in a position to get that score where it needs to be for you to purchase a home.
Gotcha. Now, what are some of the documents when they meet with you? What are some of the documents that they need to have ready?
Right. Well, actually, nobody actually has to meet with me, so they can actually fax it or email it to me. And there's also options where they can electronically upload it, but it is pretty standard across the board. So, you know, depending on how many borrowers that you have, you're going to need at least 30 days pay stubs for each person. So it has to cover whatever the most current 30-day period is for pay stubs. You're going to need the most current 2 years W-2s. You're going to want to provide at least 2 months current bank statements for the accounts, you know, that the person has. And you're going to want to provide tax returns. Most of the time, you may need 2 years tax returns. Those are kind of your standard documents. And then, you know, sometimes there could be additional things for those special circumstances. Maybe you get Social Security income or you get retirement income. Those things you're going to want to provide those award letters. Any kind of income that you're getting, you got to provide documentation for it. Whether it be child support income also is a source that can be used for qualifying. So you would want to provide, you know, possibly that divorce decree and that child support order.
Okay.
Making your process as smooth as possible is what's done up front is what makes that happen. So you want to make sure that as you're working with a mortgage professional, that all of the work is done up front, and then the rest of your process is so smooth and you don't have to go through a nightmare of a situation. Like some people have stories of, oh, it was terrible when I heard this happen to this person. And it doesn't have to be that way. You work with someone that knows and cares about what they're doing, and their objective is to take care of that borrower. It's going to be a smooth process.
Exactly. That's why I say your situation, I hear it all the time. Trust me, no two situations are alike. So your financial situation is going to be different than your friends or your cousins or your parents. It's going to be different. So you don't want to, you know, we hear the horror stories, and a lot of first-time buyers, they hear the horror stories, but it doesn't have to be that way. If you get you someone that's really good, know what they're doing, like Kim said, they're caring, passionate, it's going to be smooth sailing. So it's going to be smooth sailing. And when she does ask you for those documents, please provide them. Please do. Now, what about our folks that are self-employed? Is that a little different for them, or?
It is going to be a little bit different. If you are self-employed, you are going to want to provide your most current 2 years tax returns. And depending on what kind of business you have, it's going to, you know, depend on the documentation you provide. Some people are a Schedule C, which means they just file a profit and loss inside of their personal return. Some people may be an LLC, where they're going to actually have a separate business tax return, and they may have a document called a K-1. There are different forms of those self-employed tax returns, but if you are self-employed, you have to make sure that you're providing all the tax returns that go with you as a person and that go for your business.
Good deal, good deal. Now, once they get that pre-approval, once you take them through that process, they've submitted all those documents to you, they now have their pre-approval. Are you able to explain how you come up with a number, that pre-approval amount? How is that calculated? Yes.
Well, a lot of times it's going to be determined on the person's comfortability of where they want to be on their monthly mortgage payment. So a lot of times that sales price is going to be adjusted to where it gets them to a payment that they're comfortable with, because there's going to be different factors that come into play at different times of where the industry is. So, you know, with everything that's going on with the virus right now, you see a lot of fluctuations in the industry. You see a lot of companies are either not doing loans right now, or they've increased those credit score requirements. You see rates kind of fluctuate up and down. That's factors that go into play for determining that mortgage payment. You also have debt ratio, which is the comparison of somebody's income divided by all their debt, and is expressed in a percentage. And there are requirements for the different types of loan that you're doing on what that percentage can be. So sometimes those sales prices have to be adjusted to make sure that they don't have too much debt to qualify for this mortgage payment.
Okay, good deal, good deal. So I think, that's why it's important to get that pre-approval letter, because trust me, it happens all the time. And any real estate agent, any realtor that you speak with, they're going to want to see your budget, because what happens is you're going to see this home that you absolutely love, that you fall in love with, and it's going to be something that's outside of that pre-approval amount, or that amount that you were approved for. And it's been my experience that once you find that house that you love, it's outside of your budget, and we start shopping for homes that is within your budget, oftentimes the homes don't measure up to what you want. So it's a really good idea to, get that pre-approval first, provide Kim with all of those necessary documents that's needed. Disclose, if there are any questions that you have, if maybe you have some blemishes in the past, you're not sure, it doesn't hurt to ask a question. You're going to get an answer. Sometimes it might not be the answer that you want, but at least you will have a guide to know what you need to do to work on it, to rectify the situation. So just ask away, ask questions. It doesn't hurt to ask any questions at all. Now, once they get that pre-approval, Kim, what are you guys doing in the background to make sure that things go smoothly? Because I think oftentimes people think, okay, I got my pre-approval and this is it. I'm not going to hear from the loan officer anymore until it's time to close. What are you guys doing in the background to make sure that things outside of telling the first-time buyer to not quit your job, please don't change your job, only window shop, no new credit, no co-signing, just, it's only 30 days. And by the way, Kim can get you closed in less than 30 days, but it's only 30 days of your life. What are you guys doing in the background? Because it's not just, okay, here's your pre-approval and go on your way. There's some extra work being done.
There is. So once we issue the pre-approval, you guys are out finding the house. I've already got my documents, and I've been doing this for 25 years. I absolutely love what I do. So I know what documents need to be in that file for the file to be able to be submitted to underwriting. So that's part of our upfront stuff that we do to make it a smooth process. So you guys go find the property. Everybody's excited. You write the earnest money deposit to go with that contract, and then you guys send me a contract that's executed with everybody's signatures. At that point, I'm going to send a package out for the borrower to sign that says, hey, here's what the loan looks like that we talked about. Here's your rate, here's your payment, here's your sales price, here's how much money you need. It is, in essence, your life on paper. For us to submit to underwriting. So we want to make sure that it's as complete as possible so that what we present, that we get, positive feedback from, and it goes through smoothly. Once that package is signed, I send that entire file into my processing department. And inside my processing department they are phenomenal. So they're gonna do their verifications. They're gonna call and get verifications for employment. They're going to order the appraisal, which is going to determine the actual value on that property. They're going to order title to that property to show that the person selling it actually owns the property and is able to sell it. So they're placing all of those orders that it takes to make this a complete file. When they get those things and it looks all pretty, they're going to send it into underwriting. Underwriting is going to say, okay, great, got it. And they're going to issue us the actual underwriting approval. And it's going to have a few more items on it that we're going to need that are standard. And a lot of times it's just because we move so quickly, the file's going to go in and out before some things come in, like the appraisal and the title to the property and maybe homeowner's insurance. And sometimes maybe proof that the earnest money has posted out of the borrower's bank account. Those are pretty normal things to be needed when it comes out of underwriting. Once those things are completed, everything that the underwriter asked for is done. We've locked the rate. We've got the underwriter's like, great, I have everything I want, and she stamps it perfect, clear to close, and then we go to the closing table, and now you're a homeowner.
Yes, and those are the words that everyone loves to hear. Clear to close.
Clear to close, yes.
Clear to close. So I tell my buyers, if the loan officer or if the processor, if they happen to reach out to you and ask you for an extra document, please do so. Time is of the essence, because we want to make sure that we get you wrapped up, as quickly as possible. Of course, Kim's going to make sure that your file is as clean as possible. Before I've never had to go back and forth with Kim. So never had to do that. So, when we say time is of the essence, we really do mean that time is of the essence. So anything else you want to add to that, Kim?
No, you know what? I am really excited about, helping people become a homeowner, and sometimes the answer may not be, yes, you can be approved right now, but it's never a no. It's either a not right now or it's a yes.
Yeah.
But if you get a not right now, you're going to get the guidance, you're going to get the education, you're going to get the direction so that you know what to do so that you can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You have there's a lot of people out there that don't want to work through that with borrowers because it's time consuming, and they're looking at, well, I can't make a paycheck fast enough. Let me just, send them on their way. The team that you have here is going to make sure that you have the guidance and the education to get you where you need to be.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that is true. I mean, I've a couple of borrowers that, Kim and I are working with now are folks that have been around for a while and they maybe weren't ready, a year or so ago or 6 months ago, but now they are. Things have changed. But the thing is, you want to always, our goal is to make sure that we always keep in touch, keep in contact, because people's situations, they do change. And I feel like, if they get a not right now, the goal is to put them on a plan. So follow up with them,
Mm-hmm.
and give them that encouragement to follow that plan, because everybody needs a cheerleader. So
Right.
you follow up with them, encourage them to follow that plan. And then what's going to happen is, when it's time for them to move forward, they're going to move forward and they're going to be prepared because we've been preparing them for
Right.
a while. Okay, so nobody ever just gets kicked to the side.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of information out there. If you have any questions, it doesn't cost anything to reach out. So,
Absolutely.
all of the advice that you get from family and friends, get it from the real source.
Absolutely. Yes. Because like Shannon was saying, everybody's situation is different. And as smart as you may think that family member or friend is, if they are not in the mortgage industry and they don't do that for a living, please, of course, be appreciative of their advice, but come and talk to a mortgage professional and get the real information for your particular situation.
Yes. So this is about it. I mean, we don't usually do these really long, usually about 30 minutes to an hour. Anything else you want to add, Kim, before we wrap up? Make sure you let everyone know how they can get in touch with you, all that good stuff.
Okay, fantastic. So thank you so much for having me on here. If I can help you guys, my phone number is 404-723-0056. And you can email me at kimt@prmg.net.
Perfect. And then, Instagram, Facebook, can they follow you, reach out to
Absolutely.
you that way?
Yes.
Okay.
And text messaging also. I am constantly in front of my computer. I always have my phone right beside me. So if for some reason you call and you get my voicemail, just shoot me a text message and I will call you right back. I can even text you right back, even while I'm on the phone. But you can definitely reach me.
Good deal. And then if you want to reach me, it's Shannon at Shannon Ellis and Associates. Those are my Instagram and my Facebook handles are both Shannon Ellis and Associates. My phone number, 678-263-8966. You can always send me a text, an email, or a DM. I respond to all of those. Because like Kim, I'm always on my computer and I'm always on my phone. So I can't always answer, but I can always send you a text.
Mm-hmm,
Okay?
Absolutely.
So if you have any questions, you're interested in having a full consultation, if you want Kim to just take a look at your financial situation to see, where you are, what you qualify for, she is more than happy to do so. I'm more than happy to go over the full consultation with you as well, just to ease your mind, walk you through the steps, and then get you to home ownership. So if there are no more questions, we're going to wrap this up. Make sure that you reach out. We are both more than happy to help you out. All right, Kim. Have a good one.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Thank you.